He held some of the most sensitive security clearances in the military, a scholar of psychological strategy, a practitioner of unconventional spirituality, from global deployments to controversial affiliations, and from government documents to long unanswered questions. This is the case of Michael Aquino, the occult leader and high-ranking US military officer. Not everything in this story was proven, but not everything proven tells the whole story.
My name is Elle, and you're watching Agency X. Please like, subscribe, and give me your thoughts in the comments section below.
Michael Aquino was born on October 16, 1946, in San Francisco, a city defined by cultural transformation and post-war growth. His upbringing remains relatively undocumented, but he came of age during a time when intellectual rebellion and spiritual experimentation were reaching the national stage. Aquino was a gifted student. He gravitated toward philosophy, power theory, and political influence. In the mid-1960s, he began reading deeply into arcane subjects, symbology, mythology, and spiritual systems outside the mainstream. He earned his bachelor's and master's degrees in political science from UC Santa Barbara, followed by a PhD in political science with a focus on psychological influence in geopolitics. His academic work centered on how narratives can shape behavior on a mass scale, insight that would later align with his military work. But alongside his formal studies, Aquino quietly nurtured another interest: the exploration of non-traditional belief systems and symbolic practices, which would eventually become central to his public identity. Aquino enlisted in the US Army, serving with distinction in psychological operations, or PSYOP, a division of military strategy focused on behavioral influence, information control, and morale shaping in both combat and civilian environments. During his service in Vietnam, Aquino earned several commendations, and his ability to bridge field operations with academic theory made him a valuable asset. In 1980, he co-authored a strategic memo titled "From PSYOP to MindWar: The Psychology of Victory" with Colonel Paul Vallely. The document outlined a vision of psychological warfare not as an accessory to physical combat, but as a primary method of conflict resolution, where belief itself becomes the battlefield. Aquino argued that future wars could be won not through force, but through total perception management, targeting thoughts, morale, and cognitive certainty. Though never officially adopted, MindWar became a foundational talking point in discussions around influence warfare and strategic persuasion, ideas that would later resurface in both military and civilian spheres, including advertising, tech, and political media. But while Aquino's strategic mind made waves within defense circles, his personal affiliations were about to attract a very different kind of attention. In the late 1960s, Aquino aligned himself with a growing movement of alternative spiritual thinkers led by Anton LaVey, whose organization was known for its theatrical, rebellious stance against conventional religion. From the photos, I'm sure you get the gist of what movement I'm referring to. But Aquino soon distanced himself. He felt LaVey's approach lacked philosophical depth and spiritual rigor, that it was all some sort of commercialized show rooted in satire. It didn't feel real enough. In 1975, he officially separated and established his own group, the Temple of Set. This new movement focused on individual empowerment, symbolic transformation, and self-directed spiritual evolution. Aquino claimed to have experienced a form of metaphysical insight that shaped the temple's founding principles, rooted in ancient Egyptian symbology and inner transformation. The the specific Egyptian symbology adopted in his teachings was centered around Set, the ancient god of isolation, strength, and transformation. He used the typhonic Set animal as a sacred emblem, embraced the concept of Zepa, to become, and incorporated Ankhs, black flame imagery, and references to pharaonic authority to symbolize personal divinity and self-evolution. Aquino's system embraced theistic language, not as literal deity worship, but as a metaphor for awakening and mastery of one's inner will. Members of the temple engaged in ritualized reflection, symbolic study, and spiritual exercises designed to activate what Aquino called the black flame, a metaphor for isolated consciousness and personal divinity. While these beliefs were entirely legal and protected under the First Amendment, they were seen by many as incompatible with his sensitive military role, especially as he remained active in classified programs. It's important to note that the term often associated with Aquino's spiritual affiliations carries a variety of interpretations, but as we can see in his teachings, that wasn't the full picture of what he practiced or believed.
In 1986, allegations surfaced regarding inappropriate conduct at a child development center located at Presidio, a military installation in San Francisco. The case led to several investigations and multiple staff being scrutinized. Although Michael Aquino was not employed at the center, his name entered the case after being mentioned in the context of unverified claims involving symbolic gatherings and unorthodox imagery. A child claimed they were taken to a house resembling Aquino's, described unusual ceremonies, and identified both him and his wife from photos. The setting matched the decor of Aquino's home, rich in symbols tied to his spiritual practice. Federal agents searched Aquino's residence shared with his wife Lilith, also a temple member. The home contained themed decor, spiritual writings, and items consistent with the temple's beliefs. However, no material evidence was ever discovered connecting Aquino to any wrongdoing. He voluntarily took a polygraph exam, which he reportedly passed. No formal charges were brought against him. Aquino went on national television, including a headline-grabbing appearance on Geraldo in 1988, where he forcefully denied all allegations and described the situation as a modern witch hunt fueled by mass hysteria. The case was dropped, but questions lingered. Why had someone with a public record of spiritual non-conformity been placed in high-level psychological roles? And what protocols existed to ensure belief systems didn't intersect with strategic influence work? Though cleared legally, Aquino was placed on administrative leave. Public trust in both him and the institution that had empowered him began to unravel. Following the fallout, Aquino withdrew from public defense work, but formally retired from the military in 2006. He spent his later years authoring a series of deeply philosophical and esoteric books. The Temple of Set. This book outlines the philosophical foundation of the religious organization Aquino founded in 1975 after separating from the Church of Satan. It emphasizes symbolic transformation, self-deification, and personal evolution through the concept of Zepa, an ancient Egyptian term meaning to become. Readers are encouraged to reject passive spirituality in favor of conscious self-development through ritualized introspection and personal will. The text also positions Setian thought as a legitimate, structured, spiritual system rooted in ancient metaphysical traditions. MindStar. In MindStar, Aquino introduces a metaphysical framework centered around the concept of the Mind Star, a permanent, individual essence distinct from body or soul. He describes it as the conscious core of one's being, capable of independent growth beyond material limitations. The book serves as both a spiritual manual and a guide to achieving personal sovereignty through the activation of inner awareness and disciplined will. It builds on the Setian model, presenting a path toward higher consciousness and existential self-command. The Church of Satan. This retrospective revisits Aquino's early involvement with Anton LaVey's Church of Satan and the ideological split that led to the creation of the Temple of Set. He critiques the organization's direction under LaVey, arguing it became overly theatrical and lacking in philosophical depth. The book contrasts the performative aspects of early Satanism with Aquino's own structured, theistic approach. It provides a historical account of the movement's formative years while framing Setianism as its intellectual successor. Extreme Prejudice, a personal memoir in which Aquino responds to the public allegations and media scrutiny that surrounded his name during the late 1980s. He presents himself as a casualty of cultural paranoia, alleging that fear-based narratives overtook factual discourse. The book combines legal commentary, personal reflection, and critiques of institutional behaviour to argue that his reputation was shaped more by perception than evidence. It's both a rebuttal and a statement on how public figures can become symbols of wider societal anxieties. On September 1st, 2019, Michael Aquino passed away at the age of 72. The official cause was reported as death by his own hand, following complications from illness. But in typical fashion, speculation followed. Some believe there may be more to the ending, though no alternate narrative has been substantiated. Aquino remains a symbol of a rarely seen overlap: strategic government operations and alternative spiritual ideologies. To some, he was a misunderstood thinker, a man ahead of his time, caught in the crossfire of a nation still struggling with spiritual diversity and mass media fear cycles that some would argue still exist to this day. To others, he represented a breach of public trust, someone with unusual beliefs operating quietly inside one of the most sensitive branches of US intelligence strategy, using that access to shape mass perception in ways the public never fully understood. His concept of MindWar continues to echo in modern discussions around influence, propaganda, and digital persuasion. And while no legal conclusions were ever drawn against him, the association between his ideas and his access remains a source of ongoing debate. Was Aquino a tragic figure, an intellectual lost in controversy? Or did his story reveal a broader blind spot in oversight, ideology, and institutional trust? Thanks for watching. If you found this investigation thought-provoking, consider subscribing for more deep dives into forgotten files, government strategy, and untold chapters of history. What do you think? Was Aquino simply misunderstood? Or did his life reveal something we weren't meant to see? Drop your thoughts below. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and stay informed. This is Elle, signing off.